Good morning. Good morning. Happy July 20th. Happy. I'm exhausted. I just spent 2.5 days in a concrete city with static and noise. And, I live up in the mountains in Montana. So it was a little bit more fast paced and clustered with a lot more humans than I'm used to. And I had to laugh because I sat down and turned on the live and was ready to go, or getting ready to go about 10 minutes ago and realized I hadn't even um, set up the YouTube with the thumbnail or anything. So, welcome. I don't know if you're feeling anything like this as well, but it's almost as if there's a little bit of sort of wobbling is the way that I would put it. An interesting kind of wobble. And so now that the energies are sort of all over the place, let's talk about this and find out what we can do about it because it's kind of an intense time, and we're going to put that together. So today, what we're calling is truth is agitating the body, and so there's levels of truth that are coming through, and we're going, wait, what? How are we supposed to deal with this, and what's this about? So let's take a look at that. So first, because I've spent the last 2+ years talking about solar flares, let's go through what's going on with those to start with, right? So, the past week, it's been really consistent, remarkably steady, mid range C class from I think last Sunday was a C9 and it went 2, 3, 2, 3, 5. So we're at a C2 to a C5 throughout the entire week, which if you remember how we were talking about them, the C classes are those little tap, 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 those nudges that are trying really hard to keep us awake, to keep us in our bodies, keep us present and aware and calling at us to adjust and align, which makes sense. What it does is it wants us to pay attention on a much more profound level. I'm trying to figure out where to put my notes because nothing seems to be working this morning. So sorry about that. um, so even without these major spikes, the energy that we're feeling in our body is much more powerful than the flares that we used to have. Because when the X class or the big M's would come in, we'd have these swellings of disorientation of symptoms, and then this long integration period of 2 to 3, 4 days. What I'm noticing now is that minus the major spikes, what we're feeling and how we're moving and how we're showing up is being agitated on an hour by hour basis. So these symptoms aren't something that we can measure from the outer mechanical world, like on space on spaceweather.com or on the Schumann resonance. And we've talked about that before. Okay. So what I want to do, and evidently I ate a lot of really fun food when I was in Spokane, and I have a little bit of allergies going on, and that's also one of the symptoms. So sorry, you get to see me sort of navigate through all of this live in front of you while we're doing it. So the first person I want to talk about is Brenda Hoffman, because she's someone who's written for Spirit Library, and I've read her for the last 10, 15 plus years, right? And Brenda says that there's some guidance that she would offer us, that a single fear action is likely acceptable to most humans, whether of 3D or beyond. But as these fear-based actions increase, the cumulative effect becomes horrific and unacceptable to ever-growing numbers of humans. That tipping point is happening now. So what's happening is that we're having these stirrings of these energies, and we also have this fear, which is, well, what if something happens? What if it never goes back to the way it was? Think of the fears that you can conjure up or emote and go like, wow, what are these fears? So what we're doing is we're watching some of these top down control structures, is how we would put it, that are using really outdated patterns and stripping our safety nets and promoting fear agendas. And we're watching this happen. And we're no longer the same human being. So we're morphing and we're integrating and we're upgrading and changing at the same time as some of these old standard effects are going on. And so what she also says is that we have the skills and knowledge that you accepted when you volunteered to this shift on earth, to shift everything from fear to love. So this is where we are, that we're no longer these puppets in power. We're here to sort of go, wait a minute. I'm not going to buy into that fear. I'm going to shift into self-love, into love for my fellow humanity and love for this world, right? And the controllers tools that have worked for so long on us are showing their outdatedness, their crudeness. And our task now is to observe and not to comply. We're not here to comply. We're here to observe what's going on and to use all of our powers that we have, all of the skill sets that we have to shift it, right? Makes sense. And evidently, this is just hilarious. Okay, it's not going to work. Okay, there it is. So, second thing, got the Brenda Hoffman, that fear's up and some of these control mechanisms are not working, and we're experiencing some reactions to that. The second thing is that I was watching an Instagram reel with a young woman who talks with ChatGPT, and she was talking about the Trump and Epstein list. And what I notice is that these are narratives that are engineered to distract us. It's like this drip feed of drama, like, oh, watch the Diddy, watch the Epstein list, watch this, watch that. And so what it's doing is it's stirring up our reactivity, our emotional exhaustion, and it's trying to feed that fear factor, right? So they're designed to pull our attention away from the much bigger truth, which is that we're in the middle of a global revolution. We're in the middle of that. It's not violence, it's new cutting edge technology, it's transparency, it's sovereignty, it's things that we don't want to they don't want us to reclaim. And we're like, yeah, let's go. So when we use some of this transparency and the sovereignty, which I've talked about for the last couple of weeks, it means that we're sort of going, well, wait a minute. I see all the strings on those puppet movements you're making. I don't resonate with the words you're saying. I don't like this environment. So I'm making a different choice. So what we're seeing is the collapse of the old world and the laying in of this new foundation, which is, wow, it's really not that hard to navigate in sovereignty once you understand who you are and what you want and what works. So it's like, yeah, off course, on course. This doesn't feel good to my body. This doesn't feel real. This doesn't help me out. I'm moving back to where I'm in my sovereignty, where the agitation can break away from the illusions, where there's this deep psychic withdrawal as we unplug from the control systems, whether it's media, religion, politics, even family line conditioning. And you've seen me speak often about what does it really take to break our relationships with some of these family, close friends, even um, uh, extended family, even work colleagues, where you're like, I'm not here to do this anymore, because we're not here to attach to someone who can save us or someone we can point at as saying a villain. We're here to do our own inner authority and say, this is who I am and this is what I want. So Jenny Schiltz and the Ascension Lightworkers, it's like this two little bits that come up on my Facebook feed. And I like the way that they talk about the physical and emotional symptoms that are going on right now. So Jenny explains that we're at the beginning of learning how to use our dormant skills, that we have skills that we were born inside with. So what I'm going to do is look at, this is the moon card within the Osho. And so it's, there's these hands. If you can see that there's these hands right here that are holding the side of the moon, and then there's the side of the hourglass, and then there's these red salamanders, which are like the earth timing, and they're opening and closing it. And so this is us down here, and this is all of our memories of who we've been, what skills we have, who we know ourselves to be. And this is how Osho portrayed the moon card in the tarot. And I like to think of it as putting it together with the Chariot, which is this new masterful, skilled human is emerging, and there's access, and we're accessing information from inside, right? And some of those pieces are starting to fall together. Now, part of this fatigue that she's talking about is like these dormant skills, right? These dormant skills are encoded memories. They're asking us to remember what we know. And so this it's less about striving and more about receiving. It's more about creating a calm place where you can open up and let this through, which makes sense to me. And no doubt, because of where we are, we're feeling some of the tension of that, and we're also feeling some of the imbalances, feeling very crunched by energy and also a little wobbly. And so some of the things that the physical body is doing is that there's deep fatigue, there's a need for extra rest, which we've talked about, sleep disruptions, pressures in the head or in the heart palpitations, even heart chakra activations, openings, skin sensitivities, um, pimples, bumps, rashes, showing up and then going away, and then showing up and going away. It's almost like our organs are clearing themselves and our skin is showing us what is going on the inside. We have dizziness and vertigo. And, of course, what I'm seeing is sinus symptoms, which is the one symptom that comes up almost constantly with me when I am dealing with an enormous amount of stress, is that you can hear it in my voice. It's like there's this nasal blockage, and I have to just not fight it and work with it. It's so interesting. Okay. So energetically, there's a lot going on and a lot emptying out. What we're doing is we're sort of realizing we have to stop pretending who we were on the outside. We have to decide how much we accept this inner being, and whether we like it or not, whether this being that's coming out is scary to us or welcoming. And then we start to work with removing, and this is the seven of swords, all the voices, all of the distractions, all the mental constructs, all the things that told us who we were supposed to be is starting to fall away. So this is deep emotional emptying. The Ascension Lightworkers group called this the profound void phase, a moment where old meanings dissolve and detachments, the old meanings and detachments dissolve and release. And so this is like what we would call a sacred purging. We're in the middle of a sacred purging. And remember, we're heading into the Lion's Gate at 8-8. So when you think of these magical numerical portals from 7-7, when this huge energy surge came to 8-8 on the Lion's Gate, things got a little intense. So it's a liminal stage that we're in right now, where illusions are falling away, our emotional attachments are opening up, and we're starting to step into our sovereignty as a being here on earth. Makes sense, right? Okay, so I have 5 tips for you. And before I go into those, I want to invite you to the Patreon, because there's 2 levels, there's 2 tiers within the Patreon. One is the general membership, where you can come on and join the Tuesday calls at 5 p.m. on Tuesday Mountain Standard Time. And we post and put all of these pieces up there, and we interact and talk with each other. The second tier is the tarot tier. And there's only a few of us right now, and we explore, what is it that Osho does with these cards? What is it that Crowley does with the Thoth deck? What is it that Pamela Eakins does with her Spirit of the Tarot, or Tarot of the Spirit? So it's just a much deeper dive. So explore that. And if it calls to you, that's where I'm putting the majority of my time and energy in at this time, is to do my Patreon support, to do these videos every single week, and to do more interviews and public speaking. So it's been a lot of fun. Okay, so 5 tips for you. Here we go. Number 1, listen to your body cues. We talk about this all the time. Your body is your ally in this. And I guess this would probably be the closest, which is you need to know what your body needs when it feels fatigue, when it feels tension, when it feels overstimulation, when there's out of balance, so that you can pause, right? and you can adjust, and you can choose the environment that gives you the support that you need. So you got to listen to your body. And if it says it's tired, it means it's tired. If it says if you get this dryness in your mouth, you know that you need more water. If your hands start to hurt, you go, wow, I'm purging so much on the physical level right now. Okay. So listen to your body cues. Number two, prioritize rest and nourishment. I can't say this enough. When this isn't the time to push through, because there's nothing to push through to. This isn't like I'll give it a day or two and just sort of um, work hard and then rest, because this is not going to end. What we're doing is we're stepping up bit by bit. So when we crunch down and when we endure to try to get through something or push through, what it does is it exhausts the body even further and makes it impossible to be able to bring in these codes, these light codes, and these energy systems, energy upgrades that we're working with. So we don't endure, we don't push through. What we do is we rest and we restore and we sleep well and we eat clean foods and we stay away from alcohol, which is a poison system to the organs. And believe me, I love my margaritas in the summer and mojitos, and red wine and rosés in the summer. And that I just none of it is working at all. It just hurts my body. So you hydrate with intention and you soften where you're holding, and you rest and restore your body. Okay. Number three, practice radical self-acceptance. I mean, if there's any card that works on the mental line of self-acceptance, it's this one. It's like, oh no, I don't really want to know what's underneath this facade I put out there, because what if I'm this horrific, ugly person underneath it all? And then so what you have to do is you have to release the need to keep up with appearances. You have to go to that core self who knows who you are and knows what you believe in and says the honest truth and watches who steps in and who steps away. It's really different. So you don't fix or try to improve, and you're not behind, you're evolving. So as you're getting to know this, you get to know the self with honesty and grace, and really just turn into this magnificent sovereign being who can wobble. Of course, we're not saying there's no wobble. We're just saying that know that what we're doing is we're undergoing some sort of transformation, right? Okay, number four, it's really important to integrate with the earth, whether it's feet on the soil, hands in your water, or just gazing at the stars in the sky. I like to watch the sunrise and close my eyes and hit the sun right on my pineal. I like to go out at night when the stars come out and just feel the coolness coming in and the quietness in this very busy touristy mountain town, which is having a huge concert right now, which was part of the reason why I left. Because our nervous system is under pressure, and nature can help us calm it down. And I've always looked at it like nature has these reflectors that when we walk by, they just sort of meet us and they walk with us until we move on, and they just sustain us. So get outside and integrate with the earth. And number five, the one that I always talk about, is that extend compassion to you and to others, because this is profound unlearning and rebecoming. We're messy. It's bouncy. We feel like we don't know how to do this, right? We feel like there's pieces we don't want to come out. And so, all of our old patterns, our nervous system is freaking out. Our old patterns are up. And so this is where we have to lead with tenderness with ourselves and others, because we're all finding our own way. So again, this isn't about fixing or controlling what's happening. It's about allowing what wants to be revealed and released to be reborn within each of us. So let yourself feel that discomfort, for God's sakes. without attaching to distraction or drama or self-medicating. Because there's power in watching it as the observer from the centered, clear space. So this is what you want to do. You want to be here and you want to like go, wow, this is kind of interesting. So that's what I got for you today. Please like and share and pass this around. Put some questions in the comments. I always try to, on Mondays, I always respond to the comments. So thank you for being here. And thank you for walking this with me today. And I'll see you next week. Bye.